Hi, my name is Sarah Bex-Rice, and I'm the experimental programmer for the Brooklyn Film Festival. Welcome to CUNY TV Presents, a television show focusing on emerging filmmakers and their exceptional cinematic work. Today's conversation focuses on a selection of talented Brooklyn Film Festival filmmakers, 4 of whom are here with us today. Celebrating its 28th year in 2025, the Brooklyn Film Festival's mission is to provide a forum to advance public interest in indie film by supporting a new generation of filmmakers with their own unique visions. The festival also strives to draw worldwide attention to Brooklyn as a center for cinema, with an emphasis on promoting artistic excellence as well as supporting new, emerging, and returning filmmakers. Joining me today is fellow festival curator Michael Berenger, the narrative feature programmer at Brooklyn Film Festival. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Sarah. You're about to watch a collection of outstanding narrative and experimental short films that showcase the unique variety of films showcased by the festival. Let me introduce our filmmakers, all alumni of the Brooklyn Film Festival. We have with us Noam Argov, Philip Thompson, Kathy Mang, and KJ Holmes. Let me tell you about them. Noam Argov is a filmmaker, National Geographic explorer, and MFA Film Futures Scholar at NYU Tisch. Her work as a director and producer have screened at South by Southwest, Palm Springs, and Locarno. And she recently produced a student BAFTA-nominated film, executive produced by Spike Lee. Her feature script, Princess, was the top pick for NYU's Table Read Initiative, and she won the Sloan Science Production Award for her thesis film, Verse. Before making narrative films, she directed documentaries worldwide for National Geographic and major outdoor brands. Welcome, Noam.
Thanks for having me.
Philip Thompson is a Brooklyn-based filmmaker from New England, named one of Filmmaker Magazine's 25 New Faces of Independent Film in 2023. A Sundance Adobe Ignite Fellow and New York Film Festival Artists Academy Fellow, his work examines media's influence on culture and the power of the gaze. With a bold, thought-provoking style, Philip is making waves in independent cinema. Welcome, Philip.
Thank you for having me, Sarah.
Kathy Mang is a Chinese-American writer-director who studied film at NYU's Tisch. Her award-winning short, Willow and Woo, earned Best Screenplay at Brooklyn Film Festival, Best Short Film at Katra Film Series, and received a grant from the NYC Women's Fund. A finalist for the Richie Jackson Artist Fellowship and New York Film Festival Artists Academy, her work is screened at top festivals, including AIFF and CAMFest. Kathy's films bring a fresh perspective to storytelling, bridging cultures with compelling narratives. Welcome, Kathy.
KJ Holmes is a New York City and Athens, New York-based dancer, actor, poet, and teacher who has helped shape contemporary improvisation and choreography. She has performed worldwide from MoMA to Art Basel, collaborating with legends like Simone Forti and Steve Paxton. A longtime NYU Experimental Theater Wing adjunct faculty member with movement research in New York City, she is the performer in Henry at the Golden Hour by Maureen Towie and Corinne Keithley Sires. Her latest works, Blueprint and 900 Bees Are Humming, blend movement, sound, and image through embodied somatic practices. Welcome, KJ.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about the films.
Great, so we're going to start with you. Noam, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. So, kick it off. Can you tell us about your film? Tell us what it's about.
Yeah, sure. My film is called Sulam, and it's a mother-daughter immigrant story about this young girl who finds herself constantly translating for her mother, who speaks very little English. And the film takes place on this specific morning where the young girl decides she's not going to translate for her mother anymore, and it sort of breaks apart their relationship.
Amazing. So can you tell us what inspired the story?
My life. It's based a lot about my own experiences immigrating to the U.S. at a young age and growing up with parents who struggled to assimilate and speak English, and that sort of like shame that I felt about how they couldn't sort of integrate into American society, but now in retrospect, the shame that I feel about how embarrassed I was of them now that I'm an adult. So it's a bit of a kind of reflexive exercise in looking back at our relationship when I was younger.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you talk about how you translated those feelings to working with your actors? Like, what struck me so much when I first saw your film and you first submitted it was how visceral the connection was between the mother and the daughter. Even though they're in conflict the whole time, they seem there's a love there. There's a connection. Can you talk about working with them?
Yeah, they were just absolutely phenomenal. They're not a real mother-daughter pair, but I feel like they really hit it off. And we did a lot of exercises and rehearsals that were like improvisational around what a mother and daughter might do together, but around like themes in the film. So we had like them order a pizza together, but the mom doesn't speak very much English, so the daughter had to like step in. We had them actually do the young actresses' math homework together for real, and little things like that that I think really bonded them. But they were both just such a pleasure to work with.
That's incredible. I mean, you did it. That reads extraordinarily well. And now we're going to take a quick look at your film.
אולי אין להם. בואי נלך.
מה, תתייאש לי עכשיו? הנה בואי. יאללה, תעזור גם לנו.
אמא, תתחילה לסיים.
בסדר, זו עבודה שלה, נכון? Sorry. Excuse me, I need...
Oh, I'll be right with you, okay? 1 second. Thank you.
Excuse me. So I need to know the difference between,
Look, I need... Sorry, I just... You help me now.
1 second,
Quickly.
please. Just one
Question, just question.
Don't worry about it. I think that I can find it myself. Just
Are you
help her.
sure?
Yeah, help her.
Okay.
It's a little rude, but okay.
Okay. Now can I help you?
I look in a letter.
A what?
Letter.
Oh, you want me to show you where the mailbox is?
No, ours.
I'm sorry.
I don't understand. I'm sorry. I spoke it.
אלמה, תעצרי רגע, נו, אני רואה אותך, תעצרי.
אלמה, תגידי לאישה הזאת, איך הוא מסולם באנגלית?
אני לא יודעת.
מה? מה את עושה? בואי לפה מיד, מה את עושה?
אמא, את לא.
Is everything okay?
Yes.
Hi, Philip. Thank you for joining us. Could you tell us a bit about your film, I'm at Home?
Yeah, so I'm at Home is an experimental narrative film that follows a children's television show host, and we follow his daily process of walking on a set every day and telling kids how to be creative. But then through that daily process, he finds himself getting really burnt out and depressed. And the film kind of has an analog texture that feels like a show like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or Blue's Clues.
Could you give us a bit of a background about the development of the film? You know, was it kind of inspired to, like, you were inspired to make it at a particular time when it came out, or, you know, were there certain elements kind of drawn from particular moments in your life as a young filmmaker?
Yeah, I made the film after like a 6-month-long quarantine. It was just in the midst of COVID. And I had to make a senior thesis assignment I went to Ithaca College at the time, and I didn't really know what I wanted to make. I didn't feel like making anything. I felt really burnt out and depressed, and I decided to kind of make a film about that. It was during kind of lockdown, so it was just me and 7 of my friends. It was a very small crew. I had to act in the film because we couldn't do auditions, and we just shot in a basement studio in our college town, Ithaca.
Nice. You had spoken about that kind of analog texture, and it almost feels like kind of a character in and of itself, like with you and Pablo. Can you speak a little bit more about why you made that decision and kind of the process and shooting process there?
Yeah, I really like movies, or I like the idea that like film and tape are like tactile materials that they can like kind of degrade and break down as they grow, or, you know, as things age. And so I kind of wanted to make something where the material of the film was breaking down, like as well as like the character, and it kind of gives a certain kind of different texture, different kind of feeling when you watch it. It's kind of eerie or creepy.
Thank you so much, Philip. And now we're going to take a quick look at I'm at Home.
Looks like it's another cloudy day, but that doesn't mean we can't have fun together. What do you want to do today?
Where's Pablo?
Pablo, how could I forget? Yeah, we have to see how Pablo's doing. Oh, Pablo. Oh, Pablo.
I'm bored!
You're bored? But Pablo, that sounds like such a negative thought. When I get a negative thought, I think of something creative. Just get a little bit of yellow, a little bit more right here on the face. This 3-headed lion's gonna look amazing. You kind of can't tell what it is, but it's okay. You kind of just have to use your imagination.
Kathy, we come to you. Can you tell us what your film's about?
Yeah, Willow and Wu tells a story of a young Chinese-American assistant named Willow living in New York City, and she's having an awful day after a breakup, and she gets called into work on a Saturday, and she learns that she has to help her boss's husband to film a eulogy video instead, and the film is a meditative piece on human connection, loss, and love.
Amazing. Gonna ask you the same question. What inspired the story? Where'd it come from?
Yeah, it's based on a personal experience where I was the assistant to this high net worth CEO, a female CEO, and I was excited to work for a female CEO at first, but then the closer I got to her life, I saw how she had to be more ruthless than her male counterparts, and being with such high-powered people, I saw that they really hated vulnerability and just they hate showing weakness. And us as artists, being vulnerable is a strength. So I want to show this contrast that the assistant is able to show her pain, and that helps the CEO's husband to express his emotions.
That's amazing. And so I know that you spent some time. It was difficult, or maybe it wasn't difficult. You essentially had an opposite thing of Gnome. Your film is about two people who do not know each other whatsoever. How did you find your actors, and how did working with them come about?
Yeah, so the language became a problem when it came to casting because we needed both leads to speak fluent Mandarin, and a lot of Chinese American actors in New York speak Cantonese. So the actress who played Willow, she's from Shanghai and she moved to New York, so she had perfect Chinese. And we struggled with Mr. Wu's actor because it's just harder to get a middle-aged Chinese actor. Ultimately, we found him through Facebook. He lives in Paris. And me and my producers, we pulled in our credit card points to get his flight. Yeah.
Well, you nailed it because they're both so sensitive as well as funny. Like there's a lot of humor in your piece, which is really, really wonderful. So thank you.
Thanks.
So let's watch a clip from your film.
这儿我觉得应当不错。这光线怎么样？
光线很好。
你焦距对好了吗？
对好了。
我要是在焦距点上的话，我的脸色应当看起来还不错。刚才我一路走过来，脸出汗都发亮了。你年轻女孩子，肯定会化妆吧？ 就稍微化妆一下，无太的要求我上镜头一定要显得很精神，不然你就不要上镜头。这关系到公司的形象。
哦。对不起，您有点。
这化妆应当可以了。
Hi, KJ. Thank you for being here and representing the film Henry at Golden Hour. Can you tell us a little bit about the film?
Yeah, the film is about a man who's taking a walk in the late afternoon, and he has a visitation from somebody who had recently passed away. So it's kind of a poetic meditation on memory and also on these fleeting moments when people that you love have left, but they're also somebody that you carry. It was directed by Maureen Towie and in collaboration with the writer Corinne Keithley Sayers. And I think it's really showing Corinne's evocative writing and also her artistic vision. I played the two characters. And yeah, it was really a pleasure to be in the work of showing that which is fleeting, I guess.
Yeah, I'm so glad you could be here because it kind of gives a different perspective on the film and the filmmaking process with you being in the film. I was wondering, this is a very collaborative process with all these unique elements of text and visuals and performance. And could you speak a little bit more about what inspired everyone to come together and create this film sort of as it is and almost where it was shot too?
Yeah. Corinne originally wrote the story, Henry at the Golden Hour, to be recorded as a story. And she and I have worked together a lot as dance artists and been in each other's productions. And she said that at some point she suddenly saw me playing both characters, Henry and Kaz, and that's when she knew it would be a film. And the funny thing about doing the film as well is that the film, one of the images in the film has to do with a lot of bricks, and it's also located near a river. And it turned out, unbeknownst to Corinne, that I live in a town where I live in a historic district. It's called Brick Row, and all the houses are made of brick. When it rains, bricks come up on the lawn, and it's right next to the river. So here we were filming something that just serendipitously became my house, and I was playing both characters, and everything that the film was about was right there.
It's gorgeous, even with the light almost as a piece of the puzzle itself. I'm curious, as sort of the sole performer actor within the film, could you speak a little bit about how you kind of navigate your own personal movement and style within being directed in the realm of film? Or do you have a lot of experience working in film as a kind of dancer?
I think because I'm primarily an improviser and I work with, I do a lot of my rehearsing in performance, act like process as performance. I think that I'm accustomed to being seen, and I work with a lot of embodied practices. And interesting for me in my life as being an older artist, I am getting cast in a lot of different works, especially films. But most of the films are non-narrative, so I think they really come to me because I do know how to move and how to embody different qualities. And in the film with Corinne, she does know me, and her choreographic sense isn't so much about the movement, but about the editing and how she puts the images together.
Yeah, nice. Well, thank you, KJ. Let's take a quick look at a clip from the film.
A fishing lure has caught in the rocks. He scoops it out and holds it up. There are lit up places in him, like any of us. At the wall, this one a real brick wall, Henry stops to look at where the brick fell out, the real brick hole. In his pocket, he fingers the lure he found. Hookless, all invitation and no fish death. Would be kind of a nice way to fish, he thinks. Though dinner. He considers putting it into the hole, but possibly it would chase away the face. He decides to give it to Kath instead. Henry stands at the spot where he can face the hole at the precise angle to line up with the golden hour light. From the hole, the face looks back at him.
I wanted to first ask a festival-specific question, so I'll start with Noam. How has sharing your work publicly at places like Brooklyn Film Festival or other places shaped you as an artist and how you continue to generate and think about your work?
Well, I mean, it's such a joy. I think, with at least where I'm at in my career, I wouldn't have the opportunity, being early in my career, to screen theatrically. So, that's what film festivals do for us, I think. And having an audience there is just so remarkable. You can really feel the room, and there's it's so beautiful. There's specific moments in my film where every audience across all festivals react in similar ways. People will gasp or tear up, and to feel that happen consistently across the festival circuit is just a really special in-person experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, it's just a cool way to make friends when you're a filmmaker. It's hard to meet other filmmakers and get a bunch of filmmakers together in one room and actually have similar experiences, especially people that are making short films. Kind of getting everyone together and being able to, break bread. That sounds corny. But, just hang out and talk. Yeah, I love going to film festivals. They've definitely changed my life.
Yeah, I was going to say similar to Noam, seeing the audience's reaction, and I always sit in the back, and our Brooklyn Film Festival screening was sold out. That was awesome. And meeting new friends and sharing knowledge.
I haven't really spent that much time at film festivals. But I do know, speaking with Corinne, that it's interesting that dance film festivals don't consider her films dance films. And I've had that experience as well with my films because they don't show people dancing, but it's really the dance of the perceptions. And I know that Corinne and Maureen have been very excited whenever they have been able to show their films. Like at the Brooklyn Film Festival was very important for them, and the Montclair Film Festival. But I myself, I enjoy being an audience at anything that has a discussion and an opportunity to see something new.
Mm-hmm. It's. I mean, you come from theater for sure, so festivals are a way. You know, filmmakers work, especially directors, work in isolation. It's like this time that you can finally be with other people, be with an audience. It's
Definitely.
Doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
How does it feel making art in this insane time?
It's imperative.
There you go. Great.
It really is. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
It's a protest, and we need to do more.
Yeah, I also think that like everyone is really down about the film industry in particular right now. Like it seems to be a very dark time. It is a very dark time for a lot of people, and I hope that like there is a generation of us coming up that can kind of bring some more light into that. And I hope that like I'm really inspired by seeing the works of my peers, and it does give me a lot of hope for the kind of films that are coming out and will be coming out in the next few years.
Yeah, I think people are still looking for original, fresh voices, even though there's so many, sequels and all big blockbuster stuff coming out. People still want something that's fresh and new, and I don't think that's going to go away. I think no matter what's going on in the world, people just want to feel inspired, or they want to see something they've never seen before. So I don't think that's ever going to stop.
Mm.
Yeah, I think in this political atmosphere, it makes me feel more urgent because of how precious our time is. And I care a lot about telling something that's genuine, especially with all the disconnect and AI and all that. So yeah, there's more urgency.
All your film, like if they're all so different, but something that I sort of notice about everybody's film is sort of taking small things, small moments or ideas, and using that to tell big stories. Can you talk about, that's a way to kick off, can you talk about your artistic process for generating new work? Because these aren't necessarily solo ventures.
I definitely think like short films are like a different form. It's like a different way of making a movie than a feature-length film. A short film, usually, I feel like they work best when you take one small idea and expand it and keep on thinking about it and have it grow into something that's 10 minutes or however long. You have to really start from a small place.
Yeah, I don't know how it is for you guys, but I will like have a specific, like I'll have like the kernel of an idea, and I might like sit on it for years, and it just like will nag at me, and then one day I'll be like, okay, I'm ready to explore this. And then it just flows. And yeah, I don't know. I think as artists, if something is like bothering you and keeps coming up, it's like a good indication to like go deeper.
The collaboration with Corinne and Maureen, and also the cinematographer Tori Lawrence, everybody that was, and myself, everybody that's part of it are also part of like a dance scene or a theater scene. So there was a lot of trust about how to create from the image and make it alive. So I think that's something that I feel also in my own work, like that those serendipitous things that happen are so important, that you don't know are going to happen, that can unfold the personal that becomes much more universal.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel that my films come from the most emotional moments in my life and whatever is I feel the deepest. And then in terms of collaboration, I like to give a general guideline to a production designer of costumes and then see what they can bring. I've had corporate jobs where I was micromanaged, and like I hate doing that. So, your collaborators.
Thank you all. Sadly, that's all the time we have for today. Again, a huge thank you to our amazing guests, Noam Argov, Philip Thompson, Kathy Mang, and KJ Holmes. Thank you for sharing your journeys and creative insights with us. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation as much as we did. Be sure to spread the word and support the outstanding talent from Brooklyn Film Festival. These filmmakers are definitely shaping the future of cinema here in New York City and worldwide.
Remember, you can catch this episode and all the fantastic films from the Brooklyn Film Festival Showcase on CUNY TV's YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe and follow us on social media for the latest updates. And don't forget, everything is also available on the CUNY TV app. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.